Hi, I am Dana, aka Leafy Diva on all of my socials, and today we're going to talk plant projects, unique and aesthetic ways to display plants in your home. And in this video, we're going to look at what I like to call the begonia wall. I'm actually going to go ahead and make this a series because I quite literally always have multiple plant projects going on and I get asked to break them down. And this is my opportunity to do just that. So if that sounds fun to you, please go on ahead and hit that subscribe button and let's get started. This entire begonia is made from cuttings from one 6-inch plant that I got from Home Depot in 2021. When I tell you, I did not know anything about begonias when I first got this. And as a person who knew absolutely nothing about begonias back then and also just winged the care of it, I'm going to say this is probably one of my easiest plants. I decided in November that I was just a little bored and I wanted to do something different. So what I envision, right, is this big lush wall of begonias that looked like a backdrop for a photo shoot, and I would have it against the wall and I would just get to gaze at it all day, and I wanted it to reach the ceiling. So in order to make that happen, I measured out the area of the wall that I wanted it in, and I found this horizontal planter, which is a Balsanera 80 by Lechuza. This is a self-watering planter. And I got a really good open box deal for it on Amazon. It came initially in black, but I just painted it white. And why am I using self-watering planters? Literally just because I'm obsessed with them. If you follow this channel for a while, you're going to find out that most of my collection is in self-watering planters. I am obsessed with them. I love them. They're just easy. I have lots of mature plants planted in them. They just take all the guesswork out of watering. And I also don't have fungus gnats. So just those two things alone make them completely worth it. So while I was moving this to a self-watering planter, I decided, hey, why don't I just take it out of the soil of this in and transition it to Lechuza pine? Pine is also something that I'm pretty obsessed with. It's a mineral substrate. You don't have to use that. You're perfectly fine using soil. Pine is just easy for me. And that is a reoccurring theme on this channel is I like things low maintenance and easy. And so initially when I took the cuttings from the plant, I put them in water, but a bunch of my followers told me that the Maculata was super easy to propagate. So I could just go ahead on and skip that step and put them directly into the substrate. I took that advice and I'm glad I did because these readily rooted. They rooted so quickly. In the back of each cutting, I put these 4-foot green plastic stakes and I tied the cuttings to it with floral tape and Velcro, plant Velcro. You can find all of that at either Lowe's or Home Depot. It's super easily accessible. I like to use the green plant stakes because they kind of blend into the background. So it almost gives the appearance of the plant naturally growing that way and you don't see the support structures. Because I don't like seeing support structures on plants. And in the beginning, you're gonna see this while the plant's growing, which is completely fine. But like I said, the idea is in the end for the plant to completely cover any support structures and stakes to just make it look more natural. And as far as maintenance is concerned, the plant has the begonia has a natural inclination to grow out instead of up. So once a month, I go in and I take all the new growth and I just attach it back to the plant stick to get it growing in the direction that I need it to. One of the reasons I chose the Maculata for this project is because the leaves, they aren't very mobile. So I can point this in any direction that I want to, and they're not going to be fighting me to face the sun. Which, when I think about it, seems kind of cruel, but you know what? I mean, friends, it is what it is. What can I say? The light it gets is from a west-facing window, and it's a few feet away, and it seems to be doing fine. So it's growing really, really fast. Actually, this one, the stalk right here, is a bit of an overachiever. He has grown way faster than all the other ones. Eventually, I'm going to cut him off because I just have to, but like, the leaves it's producing are so big, so I just kind of want to enjoy him for a little while longer. But yeah, I'm eventually going to propagate him. And as far as watering is concerned, this reservoir takes a gallon of water at a time. And you would think that that's a lot. But since the weather's warming up and the plant's gotten a lot bigger, I would say I probably fill this about once every 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks because this guzzles water. which is interesting because when this was in soil, I completely underwatered it. I mean, I underwatered it. I tested the limits of underwatering it. And you know when you've underwatered a begonia because the new growth will come out. And if it's not water, it'll start browning at the tips. And that's usually when I was like, oh yeah, I need to water this. Again, easy plant. It's fine if you neglect it just a little bit. But since it's getting everything it needs, all the water it needs from the self watering container, I can just forget about it. Also, another cool thing about this planter is as the plant roots start to grow into the reservoir or the water reservoir, I can cut the roots so they don't go down there. Because one thing about self watering planters is the roots like to go down to the reservoir, and that's not something that you have to deal with soil because the roots tend to wrap around the soil because they don't have any other place to go. My philodendrons and my anthuriums, they don't seem to mind their roots sitting in water, in the water reservoir, so I really don't worry about them. I have some anthuriums that have been in the same self-watering planter for about a year or a year and a half, and I'm pretty sure those roots are in the water reservoir, but they do just fine. So I don't see a need to repot them. And again, this is something that you won't have to deal with if you have soil and a conventional planter. But as far as everything else, I'm really happy with his growth. Like, seriously, I am so happy with his growth actually that I decided that I was going to stop it once it got to the top of this pole because I initially wanted to get this up to the ceiling. But honestly, after 7 months of watching this grow and wanting it to cover the pole, I don't know. I just want to enjoy it. I'm at the point where I just want to enjoy it. I don't want to be growing it anymore. And so I would say I'm going to give this like another month, maybe a month and a half, and it should cover the entire pole. And I'm just going to leave it there so I can enjoy it. And later on, I might just decide to extend it or I might not, but at least I have that option. And that's a wrap. I just wanted to come on really quick and familiarize you guys with the begonia wall. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. Also, if you have video ideas, I would love to hear them. Please subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And I think on the next video for plant projects, I'm going to show you my gigantic Adansonii. We do need to talk about that. It is enormous. And with that said, I'd like you to go forth and enjoy the rest of your day or your night. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye.